everyone. Welcome to episode 30 of Sketch Support. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Allison Davis, and I am a scrapbooker and sketch artist for my family scrapbook store, Scrapbook Generation, which is located in Springfield, Missouri. So this series is called Sketch Support, and it's all about showing how you can use and adapt a scrapbook sketch to better fit your needs. For me, I am someone that in my early years of scrapbooking, I quickly learned that I like to have a plan before I started a layout, and eventually that evolved into creating sketches, and then people liked those sketches, and so it just kept going from there and turned into this series, which I really enjoy doing. It's always so fun to show you all the versatility of a sketch and how easy it is to adapt and customize them to so many different things, whether it's your photos, the theme, your style. There is so much you can do with the sketch. So for this series, I take one sketch and I use that as the starting point for multiple layouts, with each layout looking completely different. That sketch is also free for you to download at scrapbookgeneration.com, and I will link to it down below in the video description. There's also a 3-page PDF that you can grab at Scrapbook Generation. In this PDF, it shows 23 different ways you can adapt and customize this one sketch. It just serves as a visual for all those changes you can make. If you enjoy this sketch support series, I am also teaching a year-long class with Scrapbook and Cards Today magazine called Sketches 2024. And it's very similar to sketch support. We take a sketch, create multiple layouts from it, and then there's also a lesson included and challenges, and there's a gallery where everyone can share their layouts. There is process videos and live videos. It's really, we're a month in so far, and it's really been a lot of fun. So I'm going to link to that down below if you want to check out that information. You can still join that class. So let's go ahead and start this video off with a look at the one-page sketch that is the starting point for each layout in this video. So first, do not judge me for my sad little broken nail. I had it violently ripped off my finger last night while bowling, and all I could think was, oh, I have to film a video tomorrow, and now I've got this scary looking stump of a nail. So my apologies for that. So let's dive into this sketch. This sketch has a fun circle cluster background that has a few star accents. There's just the one photo, but there's lots of photos you could use, whether you want a single photo or a small grouping of multiple photos. What I personally like about this sketch is the circle background is not something I do often. It always seems like when I'm in a creative rut, I will often venture into playing with different shapes. Most of the time I turn to circles, and they really seem to kind of help jolt me out of that slump. And it seems to work every time. I think it's just that getting out of your comfort zone and your go-to designs that helps jumpstart those creative ideas. To me, this sketch has so much potential for lots of unique and fun ideas. Those circles could be swapped out for so many different shapes, like hearts, stars, hexagons, triangles, or squares. And you can also play around with different themed elements like balloons, clouds, Easter eggs, flowers, or leaves. There's really a lot of ways you can adapt this sketch design to work with whatever your needs are. If you enjoy this sketch, be sure to check out all of my sketches at Scrapbook Generation. I've added a few new bundles lately, and I've got a new video feature I'm doing on my Facebook page where we create a sketch together. I share polls throughout the live video and let the viewers decide certain details of the sketch. And then I finalize the sketch and add it to our store where you can download and use it for free. And it was so much fun to create this sketch together. So if you want to join in, I'll be doing the next Create a Sketch live on February 9th. So let's go ahead and move on to the first layout I created using this sketch. The most notable change you probably see right away is that I flipped the sketch. My layout is a mirror image of the sketch design. And the reason I did this had to do with my photo. I was using a 6x4-inch photo, and my son Drew is on the left of the photo with lots of open space to the right. And I really wanted to utilize this part of the photo by overlapping my title and my journaling strips onto the right size. So flipping it was an easy way to include a larger photo and adjusting those elements to fit with that. Usually the most common reason I will flip a sketch has to do with the photo. I don't like to have my subject looking or facing off the layout. And the reason I don't like that, to me, it's distracting. And I look at it like this. If your subject is looking off the layout, it's very much like someone saying, hey, look over there. And you don't want the viewer looking over there. You want them looking at your layout. So with this photo, Drew is facing the camera. So flipping the sketch design to keep him focused on the layout didn't really apply here. It just came down to I needed to use that empty space in the photo, and this arrangement worked better for that. For the rest of the layout, I followed the sketch very closely. I used the same circles that you see on the sketch. I did add in a few extra circles. There were some circle school icon stickers that felt like a good fit for this design. I also added a banner in the top area of the layout. This was one of those things that there was a banner on the sticker sheet, and I thought it went well with this circle design. I also replaced a few smaller circles with stars. The last change I made was to the tags on the sketch. Originally, I had planned on using tags, but the die cut package that came with the Simple Stories collection had a few pieces that I thought would be a great way to turn those tags into a themed element instead. So I used a composition notebook, a spiral notebook, and a ruler, and then I tucked them behind the photo just like the tags on the sketch. With my second layout, I infused the theme into the design by using snowflakes in place of the circles. And I tried to follow the same general placement of the circles, and because snowflakes are shaped like a circle, it was pretty easy to swap them out and still follow that sketch design. So I started with 3 larger snowflakes first, and then added hand stitching on them, just like the circles on the sketch. Then I added in some smaller snowflakes around those 3 larger ones. I also added a few snowflakes to the top left corner. With the snowflakes, there's a lot more white space, and that little detail in the corner felt like a good balance to the main sketch design. For my photos, I used 2 2.5 by 3.5 inch photos in place of the 4x4 inch photo on the sketch. The combined measurements of the 2 photos isn't that far off from the 4x4 inch photo on the sketch, so I didn't have to make any adjustments for that to work. So the rest of the layout follows the sketch closely. My title and journaling are in the same spot as you see on the sketch. To add even more detail to this design, I also added in some small acrylic snowflakes from Colorcast Designs, and I will always sing their praises. They have so many fun acrylic titles and embellishment pieces, and I absolutely love using them on my layouts. I also added in some Nuvo Dream Drops in Cloud 9, and that color is so perfect for snow layouts. It's got a beautiful pearl finish and ties in great with snowflakes. Now, before I move on to the next layout, I wanted to mention the colors of this layout and how I selected them. I almost always turn to the colors in my photos and try to match them. This may mean that I pull papers from several collections instead of just using one collection. And of course, I love those times when you find a collection that is perfect for your photos, but that doesn't always happen. And I don't like to force a collection to work with photos that don't mesh well with it, even though they might be the same theme. I want my papers to complement my photos, not compete against them. So with this layout, I pulled colors from my photos. The dark blue coat and hat, the black and gray car door, and the white snow outside, and then a little bit of a red accent to match that small red stripe on his hat. And I promise if you start pulling colors from your photos, you will find that your layouts are so much more appealing and complementary to your photos. For my third layout, I extended the one-page sketch to create a two-page layout. I always say never let the size of the sketch determine the size of your layout. For those of you that have followed this sketch support series for a while, you've probably heard me say that a million times, but it's totally true. And what I love about this concept of creating layouts with sketches that are intended for a different size is that it often challenges me to think a little differently with a design. Oftentimes I end up with a design that I might not have thought of through my regular creative channels, but that challenge of stretching or extending or shrinking presents different ideas. Even though this layout looks so different from the original sketch, it was really an easy process that brought this design out. I started off with 6 4x6-inch photos and arranged them all the way across the layout. And this is a big change from the sketch, but those were the photos I wanted to use, so I had to find a way to adapt them to work with this sketch design. And this is one of the most common ways I will arrange 6 4x6-inch photos. It's easy and you have plenty of room to add some fun designs to frame the photo arrangement. And that's exactly what I did with this layout. I took the idea of this circles background and split it into two. One section of it is on the bottom edge of the photos, and the second section is on the top edge of the photos. Now, the bottom set of the circles are left heavy, while the top is right heavy. And this creates a frame to the photos and a nice balance to the whole page design. I also split the title and journaling with one on the bottom and the other at the top. For the details, I kept things pretty simple with some hearts and stitching. For the hearts on the circles, I punched a heart and then sanded the edges to expose the white core of the paper. And then I adhered them with foam adhesive on matching papers. And I love doing this. It adds a 3D element to those circles that's kind of cool and interesting. And a little trick for designs like this where it looks like these circles go behind the photos. Mine actually don't go behind the photos at all. I wanted my photos to be flat and those circles would add too much bulk behind them. So instead I cut them to fit, and then the straight edge is lined up with the edge of the photos. So that's all for today. You can see with the 3 layouts I shared that there are so many different ways you can interpret and adapt this sketch design. You can follow each and every detail, or you can customize the design to your needs. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.